In my previous video, I talked about how in order to improve, you have to consciously practice certain things over and over again until the tasks you were practicing became second nature. But practice takes time, right? It takes time to see improvements. And then the question becomes, is there something you can do that doesn't take a long time to practice, but will have immediate impact on your performance, right? Something that will make you a better player right away and make it more enjoyable for you. And the answer is yes if you're playing Troll mode. And I think Troll ranked mode is probably the most representative of Naraka Blade Point since it's a battle royale after all. And it's also probably the most popular and most fun game mode for most people anyway. First thing is to pick the right hero. And because as new players, we're not very good at personal combat skill, so picking the hero that can help us survive longer will basically have immediate impact. And the next thing is understand your role within a team, and because this guy is mostly for casual players, by casual player, so I'm not going to talk about things that require teamwork. So basically it's just gonna be things that are you can do by yourself, and regardless if you are playing with a pre-made team or a random team, if you do the things right, and you basically will be positively contributing to the team effort, even though it's a kind of a one-man effort. But if you do it right, you will have an impact in the larger outcome. All right, allow me to illustrate. So usually if you are playing solo, this is you and this is the enemy. You'll pretty much always end up being a 1v1 duel. So it's a test of personal combat skill basically. And same goes for duo mode. It oftentimes became like two 1v1s. But the same is not true for Trail mode. In Trail mode, say this is your teammate and you run into the enemy team and fight breaks out, and it almost never turns into 3 1v1s, and a lot of times it's gonna end up being a race to focus fire. So like the enemy team is trying to kill off the weakest member in your team as soon as possible, while your teammate is trying to do the same, because oftentimes the 3 members of your team and the 3 members of the enemy team isn't kind of in a formation, right? There's always going to be one guy that's kind of too far ahead or got caught first, and that guy's going to get focus fire. And so if you're the guy, usually as a new player, that if you're watching this video, you probably are, you're going to be the weakest link in the team. So if you got overwhelmed because you don't know what to do, you die in 10 seconds, right? Then the 2 enemy teammates now can go help their third member, and then the fight turns into a 3v2. And generally when that happens, most likely your team's gonna lose. However, if you didn't die, there are things you can do to survive longer. So if say you survive for 30 seconds and their teammate only survive for 20 seconds, then the situation is reversed, right? Now your teammate that was focusing fire on them can come back to alleviate the pressure off you, and then it's the opposite, right? It becomes a 3v2 on your side to your advantage. So the idea here is, if you are the weakest member in the team, your job is not to do damage. Your job is to survive longer. And there are things you can do to help you do that. And we will start with picking the right hero. So the hero that will help us survive longer in Trail mode must meet 2 criteria. The first criteria is they must have an F ability that can be used under attack, right? Usable when attacked, because F skill usually have a shorter cooldown. It's like around 20-25 seconds, and some are shorter than that. So which means if you have an ability that can be used under attack, then every 20 seconds you can break yourself free from potential combos, not only for yourself but also potentially to save your teammate with the same ability, right? But we kind of already talked about this in our previous video about getting a second chance, right, to avoid being comboed to death. But the second thing that also needs to happen is the character we choose should have an ultimate that both lasts a long time, and the ultimate should increase your survival more, either in form for giving you additional health, or the ultimate is naturally really scary, so it kind of force people that are focused fire on you to back off. And there are a handful of heroes at the time of making this video that is really really well suited for that. And the first person I would recommend is Volda. Like I said in our previous video, Volda's Water Trinity. Water Trap Trinity can be used on an attack. It's a great way to break yourself out of the of a combo. But more importantly is her V2 ultimate, which is the Rising Tide on Chain. Like this clip right here, you can see I was playing Volda and I'm almost dead, but my ultimate's ready, and I just use my ultimate, and now I have the second health bar. Not only I have a second health bar, I can help peel off basically enemies that are attacking my teammates, and this allows me to disengage because players that are focusing fire, when you ultimate it, and they have to make two decisions. One is, are they gonna keep trying to focus fire on you? It will be more difficult, right? Because you have user ultimate. Or are they gonna give up focusing fire on you and go back to help their teammates? And basically the time they take to kind of leave you and go find their teammate again is also wasting time. Then this give you breathing room to either heal yourself back up, as shown here, and then or basically you prevent them from going to help their teammates by using your ultimate to disrupt them, right? So Volda is like the prime example of picking a hero that have super high survivability. My F ability allowed me to break free from combos, and my ultimate allows me to reset the fight by giving myself a second health bar. And that's kind of your job as the weakest link in the team is to be the turtle. You are kind of there because you're in the way, then they are forced to kind of deal with you, but they can't kill you fast enough. And basically you keep using your ability and your ult to reset the fight and get away. If they stop chasing you, to heal up, and then you go back in the fight to be annoying again. And basically this is something you can do by yourself that doesn't require the help from your teammate, basically. But if you do this right, it will be really helpful to your teammate. And Volda is not the only hero that can do this. There's a couple other heroes that I don't usually play, but I will showcase them in the free training mode and to discuss their kind of advantage and disadvantages. And the next hero I recommend you can try is, if like Volda is not available, is Freya Shen. Freya's F ability can also be used on attack to help you break through from combos, and her ultimate have the same idea. It's like long duration and immediately give you a second health bar, and it can like create distance, and then if enemies not chasing you, you can basically be annoying to them. Let me. The ultimate basically is jumping to the map, right? And if you press F, you can fly away, and this kind of physically prevents or make it difficult for enemy to continue to focus fire on you. And the best part is you can heal up while in this mech form. And then if the enemy stop chasing you, you can help your teammate by basically disrupting the enemy from focusing fire on your teammate, right? So and as you can see, it lasts a long time. So Freya Shen is also like a really good character to try. And aside from Freya and Volda. There's two more characters that kind of have very similar mechanics, but I actually do not recommend new players to try them, especially the character Ryushan. Even though his F skill can be used on attack, it works almost the same way as all the other ones, and her ultimate also transforms him into like another character, and you basically refill your health bar right away, and it's very powerful. But the problem with Ryushan is his ult is very clunky. Like, it's very difficult for an unskilled player to kind of be effective when you turn to basically his ultimate form. It actually make you die faster a lot of the time. This is kind of the difference between Yueshan and Volda or Freya is for Yueshan, when he turns into basically his ultimate form, and if his health drops to 0, he just dies. Whereas for Freya, Shan, and Volda, if you are in your ultimate form and your health drops to 0, you just go back to your normal form. So if you still have some armor left, some health left, you will still be alive. But with Yueshan, you just die. And same go with the monk. Monk have the F ability, which is the bell, also can be used on attack, and if his ultimate transform him into a titan and immediately refill his health. But the thing is, the titan is a huge target and he's really slow moving, and you will attract range attacks from enemy teams that are not even part of your fight. So it's really difficult to be effective with a monk unless you practice at them. However, the monk's spell is a very, very useful ability. Unlike Volda, like her F ability only basically save herself. But whereas the ability of the monk can actually save the teammate that's like right next to you. Let me illustrate. You can see right here, both me and my teammates focus fire on this enemy right here, and my teammate got parried. And you also notice that both me and my teammate is really low health. So if I wasn't playing monk, or if I'm not playing a character that have an F ability that can not only basically save himself and teammate around him, the execution move from the enemy will either kill my teammate or kill the both of us right here, and the situation would have been drastically different. But since I'm playing the monk, I could just basically tank the execution move with my bell, and the crisis is averted, right? So aside from the character I talked about already, the other ones I also recommend new player to try is Yoto and Takeda. Yoto, you see a lot of pro players doing crazy things with them, and a lot of new players get scared of picking those heroes, thinking those heroes are reserved for pros and you have to be really good to use them. But sometimes that's not true. Sometimes maybe it's the character that's strong and not necessarily the player. Yoto, for example, is one of those characters that have very high skill floor, which means you don't have to be that good to do well with her, but she also have a high skill ceiling, so if you are good, then you can do even better. And basically, like the monk, Yoto's F ability, specifically the F3 ability, can save not just herself, but it creates kind of a damage immunity area that will save anyone in the general vicinity. And Yoto's ultimate, although it doesn't give you additional health and it doesn't last very long, but it's very, very intimidating because it does a lot of damage. And this is what I was talking about with higher skill ceiling with Yoto, is if you are accurate with her ultimate, you could very easily turn a losing situation into winning one just by landing those ultimate hits. Takeda is very interesting. Is if you will notice that none of his F skill is usable under attack, then why am I still recommending him? Is his F1 is kind of like a passive buff that you can use before the fight happens, and it will just auto trigger. And that's basically intro. A lot of the times is you are surprised by focus attacks that you didn't see, right? Somebody dropping from the rooftop, coming from behind you, and if you have Mystic Grab on, basically that can automatically make you immune to those surprises for a set amount of duration. And Takeda's ultimate is also really basically beginner friendly. Is for new players, they don't know how to do combos, they don't know how to play mind games, right? And Takeda's ultimate basically allows you to bypass that by forcing attacks to go through. So to recap, as a new player, your role in the team is to survive longer, and you should pick heroes that can help you do that. And so long as you can survive longer, things like doing parries, dodges, doing combos will kind of come over time, right? And in the meanwhile, your job is just to live as long as you possibly can. But you shouldn't be afraid of fighting. Like you should embrace opportunity to fight, but try to survive fights. And that's kind of your goal.